think we saw opening. It's no coincidence. The moves we made this offseason, bringing in Kawhi, bringing in Danny, the moves we made during the trade deadline, and bringing in Mark. I've been on a part of this team since 2015, and it's been a tough playoff run for us. My rookie year, we're 2 wins away from going to the finals, battling LeBron James. Next 2 years after that, we get swept. But it's been a constant grind here. To get over that hump. And we're able to do that this year. We know we have a great group of guys who really believed it since day one of training camp. That we're on a mission, that we could do something special, that we could make history. And I think from that day forward, we just continue to work each day towards that goal.
To Reed, who's
Norma,
down to your left.
Reed Forgrave with CBS Sports. You've been here for long enough that you get this fan base almost fatalism, think that things are going to go wrong. And I'm curious how you think this win, getting to the finals, can change not just the narrative of a team, but the feeling of a city.
I think, honestly, our fans have been great since I've been here, to be honest with you, since day one. The true fans who are standing out there in Jurassic Park in the rain, filling the arena early, chanting, cheering, never giving up, since day one, just building this whole organization out with all the great players who've played here and came to Toronto. They've been great, and you can see it. You feel the vibes around the city. You feel the wave around the city. And it's special, what we're able to do, create history. And I think since day one, the fans really believed this season that we could, achieve and get over the hump finally and make it to the finals, So I'm just glad we were able to do that. I'm glad I've been able to experience every playoff run since I've been here, the ups and downs of it. And, we're really excited, to be able to go out there and continue to shock the world and prove people wrong. We're not satisfied of just making it to the finals. The main goal is to win a championship.
To Ian, who's sitting down front, and to your left, Norman.
Hey, Norm, over here. Ian Harrison, Associated Press. Obviously, Golden State's pedigree the last few years speaks for itself, but what kind of jumps out at you as size them up as an opponent for the finals?
They're a great team. They have great players, Hall of Fame players on their team. They're very experienced. They're very well coached. So it's going to be a difficult task to stop the head of their snakes, but it's going to take everybody. You can't single out one person or one player who's going to stop Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and Klay Thompson and Draymond. Those guys play together. So it's going to take a full whoever's on the court, the starting five, the bench players, whoever's coming in, it's going to be really being able to be tied in to the game plan and just trying to exploit little mismatches that the coaches see and just be aggressive and go out there and lay it on the floor. They're a well-coached team. They're experienced. But we just got to go out there, enjoy the moment, and continue to work and continue to chip away at it.
To Scott, who's in the middle.
Norm, Scott Stinson with the National Post. You were on the floor at the start of the fourth quarter when you erased the end of the Milwaukee lead. Just wondering what was said in the break there about trying to keep up the momentum, and Kawhi was on the bench at that time too.
I think in the timeout, Kawhi was like, enjoy the moment, stay here, stay together. We're good. Just keep chipping away at it and stay patient, take our open shots, continue to work the ball on offense and really lock in on defense, and I think that's what we're able to do. We were able to make it really difficult for them. We picked up our physicality on the defensive end. We were able to get out, get them scrambling around on defense. Fred, me, Serge were able to hit shots. Kayla was able to hit shots. We were really tied in on the defensive end, which gave our offense life because we were able to get out in transition.
We'll go to Mark, who's down front here.
Norm, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. Can you describe what it was like to be down 15 points and then have so many guys contribute to a 26-3 run, punctuated by Lowry's steal and the handoff to Kawhi for the jam?
It was amazing. It's what you live for. It's what you play basketball for those type of adversity moments. And seeing the guys really tied in, really still motivated, really still talking everybody through, on the floor. Mark was telling Serge what he saw and how he could affect the game. me and Fred were talking, and Kyle was talking to us, Kawhi was talking to us. So it's what you play basketball for those moments. And the one thing Kawhi really stressed to us was just to enjoy it. Don't get too out of character. Just enjoy the moment and to continue to go out there and just lay it on the floor. So it was an amazing feeling just to be able to battle and chip away at it. It's how you make history.
Michael? Norm, Michael Grange, Sportsnet. How much better or different is this team now after 18 playoff games than it was heading into the postseason? What has this journey meant to you guys?
I think it's meant a lot. We've been battle tested. In all three series that we've had so far. Different looks, different playing styles, different coverages, different matchups, different rotations. And I just think the group of guys we have, are so selfless and able to give themselves up for the team, sacrifice whatever the team needs to be able to go out there and get a win. And I think every day, every game, we've just been able to grow and get better. And even when there's games where we don't play our best, we're all open to learning and how we can improve and get better and be more tied in on a defense or offensive end. And we've just been so motivating one another, keeping guys motivated, positive through the ups and downs of bad games, bad shooting nights, good games, just continuing to stay in the air of guys that been here before, might have been struggling or, not getting the minutes that they want or not hitting the shots that they normally hit. We just all been really tied in like a family, just motivating our brothers to keep going and keep fighting.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, talk about his even-keeledness and talk about him making huge plays. And tonight he seemed to inspire us with some monster rebounds, right? Just out of nowhere when we, had either a bad possession or even a good possession that didn't go in, he'd fly in there and I thought he made some game-winning rebounds, and that's that has a lot to do with it too, Doug. But I think I'm probably, like you were at the game, but it wasn't going that well, right? It seemed like a bit of a frustrating night, and we didn't really. I think we got a little frustrated in the first half, but we kind of regrouped at halftime and talked about let's just keep playing, man. Nobody's giving us this thing. We got to go take it ourselves. And I thought we did a really good job of that in the second half. Even again going down 15 or whatever we did, just kept on playing.
To Scott, who's in the middle.
Nick, Scott Stinson, National Post. Kawhi hit a three, got a favorable bounce with like 3 minutes left. He had missed his first 7 threes. Did you call that out of the timeout? And if so, what made you confident that the next one would go in?
And you know what? He was, well, probably better not say. I thought he had a couple really good looks. That he had a couple in and out, and even that last one was like down and in and spun back out, which would have been good. But he's online and he's got great mechanics and backspin and all that stuff. So we were fortunate. I mean, it was a bounce of the ball, and we needed a bounce of the ball. It didn't seem like we were getting many, especially to start the game. Man, I was like, oh my goodness, all these things are rolling out. Not one of those nights tonight.
We'll go to Stephen, who's down on the right here.
Coach, I go back through the last couple series. We've seen all through the regular season, offense came easy. You've been winning with defense, and not just defense that we saw earlier in here, like crushing defense, holding top scoring teams to 90 points, 94 points. What's changed with the Raptors from the regular season to today?
Well, we're playing a lot harder. That's really it took us kind of one punch in the gut from the Orlando Magic to understand we better start playing a lot harder. And I think we came out in game 2 and you saw a totally different basketball team that started using their abilities to the best of their ability. And that's really the difference. Now, listen, we've learned and grown as well. Our communication, scheme, switching, blitzing, we've our rotations, contesting shots, all those things have been growing here since the start of the playoffs. And the other thing is there's some moments like stretches, we call them consecutive stops. And there's some stretches where it's darn hard to complete a pass against us. And that wears into a team after a while when you're up into them and you're denying and you're You know, everybody's just that connected and playing that hard. But effort's really the answer to your question.
So we have a bunch of questions over here. We'll start with Michael Grange, please.
Nick, Michael Grange from Sportsnet. Congratulations. You kind of touched on that there, but why is this journey, or what about this journey through 18 games has taught you about your team, and what do you think your team has kind of learned about itself, given how new it was, really?
Yeah, I mean, we've learned a lot, Michael. You know, I think, I don't really, you'll know the stats, but I think we only had something like, I don't know, 81 minutes or 121 minutes or something with like our guys, you know, like with our starting lineup. 160. Still not very many, right? That's like, I can't do the math. It's less than 4 games. Anyway, so we did have some growth, you know, to discover. And, you know, I said this after the last series. I was worried that we drew Orlando because I thought they were the hottest and best team of the, you know, 5 through 8 seeds. But I also knew that if we could go play and beat a team that defended well and was, you know, executed well, that we would grow and get better. And then Philly was really good, man. Super talented, like unbelievably talented. And that was a series that we had to go through some really highs and some really lows, and again, learned a little bit more about staying even keeled. We get our butts kicked, you know, really badly in game 3, and it was all over in a lot of people's mind. And we just kind of said, you know what, every time we've done this all season long, we've bounced back the next night. So we did, and again, we had to, you know, to really fight. They were great. And listen, this is a really good team here, right? To beat this team 4 times in a row, to me, like, is almost mind-boggling. This is a super deep, very well coached talent, a superstar, you know, that causes all kinds of problems. So I don't know. I guess I'm more proud that we just kept growing and kept hanging in there and kind of always believed.
We're going next door to Reed, right next to Michael. There.
Nick, Reed Forgrave, CBS Sports. Everyone talked about Fred's kid being born on Monday. Yeah. You had a kid born on Monday, too. Yeah, you've, like, kept this emotional composure all week long. Could you, like, pull back the curtain a little bit and just put me in your shoes over the past week of what this has been like for you, your family, and frankly for the city?
I mean, you know, listen, I think that the biggest thing is if you try to limit the distractions, right? Certainly wasn't a distraction. It was a great moment, right, for me. But again, the rest of the distractions, like, you know, I just try to focus in and, you know, shut my door and turn my phone off and do the work to prepare and get the guys prepared and really manage their rest and energy to re-energize them in between each game. And we kind of kept adding to our game plan each and every night, you know, of somebody else we were going to try to shake up or go after a little bit, and that was good. And I don't know, I think I told the team before the game, I said, I don't know a lot, but I know you guys have earned every bit of being in this game on your home floor, you know, and they have been diligent, they've been smart, they've been really tough. And that's it.
So we're going to go to Dan next. They're standing up on your
Hey,
left.
Nick, Dan Wecke with the Los Angeles Times. Last offseason, Masai makes a string of decisions that seismically change this team, changing a coach, trading a star. How did you guys, over the course of this year, kind of manage these big sort of earthquake-type situations? And obviously, if you could reflect on kind of that part of your job this season into getting to this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it was always kind of the long play or the long vision in mind, right? I think, you know, I was always telling them that what I was most concerned with starting out the season was that we just tried to come together and tried to learn on a daily basis as best we could, that we weren't going to get caught up in a really bad preseason performance or even a really bad regular season performance and just try to bounce back and play a little better. And we weren't going to, you know, go bonkers about winning a game, you know, a big game on the road. whatever, at OKC or at, beating a good team on the road. So we're trying to play the long, even with like Kawhi, we wanted to ease him back in. We wanted to get to know him. We didn't want to go crazy trying to, worry too much about the regular season record. We wanted to play well, and we wanted a high seed, and we wanted home court, but we didn't ever make winning a set number of games or winning in general a priority. It was just let's keep figuring ourselves out, and let's just keep trying to get better and learn.
To John, who's sitting down at the back.
Coach John Schumann, NBA.com. What was special about Kyle Lowry's performance in this series, and what does it mean to you, having been here for a while, to see him succeed and sort of break through on this level?
Well, I think that the things he always does, I always say this, like his natural instincts are to be a leader out there, right? And he shows it. I mean, he does it with his IQ and his not great knowledge of the game, but he shows it with tremendous toughness as well. That's his other kind of natural characteristic. He's blocking out guys twice his size. He's taking charges every game. He's just gonna fight, man, to win. He's a hell of a competitor, and that rubs off on guys. And I think, to me, again, he kept very level-headed. I think he kept very confident at all times as well, and I think that helped our team.
To Mark, who's down front here. And
Congratulations, Nick.
Thank you.
Mark Schwartz, ESPN. I was thinking earlier tonight, these are not your older brothers, Raptors, the ones that would always lose in the conference final to LeBron James. Other than the obvious, what is it about this organization and about this group that got them over the hump? And secondly, what happens to Kawhi Leonard when the stage gets this big and the lights get this bright?
Well, I think first of all, I think you always, to accomplish, what we've done, winning the Eastern Conference, is you got to really truly believe you can do it, right? And that was kind of my message from day one of training camp. Is like we got a good team here, we got good players, we got depth, we got a lot of things, and we gotta understand that there's a lot of good teams in the East, but we're right up there. So I think that belief, started things, and I think we always kind of thought that. So that's a starting point. And Kawhi is like, I don't know how many more good things I can say about him, right? I mean, he's just so good, and again, I'm seeing a level of competitive greatness out of him. I mean, it's just his willing us to win, and him grabbing those rebounds and willing those shots in almost, it seems like, and going down and locking up somebody and taking the ball from them. It's what it is. It's great competitive desire.
The last question is going to come on your left here from Ian.
Hey, Coach. Ian Harrison, Associated Press. You're obviously well aware of what Golden State's been able to do the last few years in this league. What kind of challenge do they represent, and how much do you relish the challenge of going up a team with that kind of pedigree?
I mean, they're one of the greatest teams in history, right? I think, what is this, 5 straight finals for them? There's not a whole lot of teams that have done that. So that's about all you need to say right there. And I think they've got certainly some big-time star, power, right? A number of star players. I think they've got some great athletic, energetic role guys and bench guys that come off the bench. And obviously they've got a experienced coach who's won a lot, right? Not only as a coach, but as a player. So it will be a tall task, but we'll try to figure it out.